Trudeau's position now on against all export tariffs and against dollar-for-dollar response. Who speaks for Canada vis-a-vis?
The federal government has continued to say clearly, as I will, that everything is on the table. But our efforts are first and foremost to make sure that tariffs don't come on Canada. It would be bad for Canada, yes, but it would also be bad for American consumers. And that's why we are continuing to make the case that rather than restrict the goods coming from Canada, the U.S. should be working even more with Canada on our energy, on our critical minerals, on the goods that they need to be able to have the economic growth that Donald Trump has promised. That is our first choice. Next, if they do move forward on tariffs, we are ready to respond in a strong way, but in a way that will be stepping up gradually with one goal, not to figure out how to manage these tariffs and live with them over the long term, but to figure out how to get them removed as quickly as possible. And on that, everything is on the table.
I'm wondering what you make of the split among premiers who disagree with the federal government's strategy. Smith and Moe. Who speaks for Canada in all of this? Are you concerned that now you have two provinces pretty much offside?
Well, I think it is a moment of unity. I think Canadians have no time for partisanship right now. They just want us to be united. They just want us to make sure that we are there to defend Canadian jobs. There's a lot of anxiety out there. There's a lot of fear. And so it is time for political leaders, may you be NDP, may you be Conservative, may you be Liberal or Bloc, to work as one. And I think that when it comes also to some premiers, what I've seen based on my conversations with them, it's been we want to be constructive. We understand that Alberta jobs are important, as Ontario jobs, as Quebec jobs. It's not a competition. We can all work together to make sure that ultimately we face together this existential threat against our economy and against workers.
Are Americans confused by the mixed messages that they're getting from Canada?
What I'm seeing in Washington is that not a lot of people are aware of tariffs, and Canadian tariffs in particular. I think that, we think a lot about the U.S. The U.S. doesn't think necessarily about Canada that much. And a lot of things are happening right now in Washington. President Trump is signing many, many different executive orders. Lots of things are still in transition. The Secretary of Commerce is not even confirmed yet. The only member of the administration that is working on this file that has been confirmed is Marco Rubio. And so we will be continuing to work with him.
What did Mr. Rubio say to you when you mentioned that if you hit us with tariffs, we're going to respond and it's going to affect U.S. consumers?
Well, he understands that not only this will have an impact on Americans, but this will have an impact on how the U.S. engaged in the world.
With their friends.
And that will have an impact geopolitically. He's the Secretary of State. He's in charge of having lots of relations with many countries around the world. I also talked about the importance of standing up against China together. And Rubio himself has been very hawkish against China. So I think that we have a good interlocutor to be able at least to talk to and to be constructive with. That's my job as the top diplomat in the country, to make sure that I create these relationships. And we now have a process, and the process is clearly highlighted by the executive order. There will be lots of rhetoric. We will hear a lot of different versions coming from south of the border. We need to put our head down, we need to be united, and we need to defend Canadian jobs.